Hi everyone, Jackson here. Welcome back to the Daily Endeavours for the 24th of April. As always, there will be timestamps, descriptions if you're looking for one of these options in particular and you just want to skip through all the other stuff. So, 15 seals, completing quests, Air Atronachs, 2 Duel themes, structure furnishings, and a duel. I think maybe this one is a little bit more of a pain than the other ones. Maybe this one too, but honestly, all of these options are fine. No DLC required. Yeah, pretty easy to get all of them done. Pretty easy to find spaces to do them. So if I can't even say like which ones I would do, it just depends. But if I were to make a choice, I'd probably go dual scene structures and a duel, if I can find someone just to attack quickly. So I'll just cover duels very quickly. All you gotta do is go up to summon anyone random, bring up the player interaction menu. On keyboard it's holding the F key. I'm not sure what it is on console, but it'd be something similar. The option to duel is here. Then all the other player has to do is accept it. You'll see this this flag rock up. The only issue with this, and it'll come up in the tooltip, it'll say forfeited duels do not count towards the score. The only way to forfeit a duel is to leave the area. This house is a bit too small for that. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah. So if it says that, it doesn't work for you, but it does work for the other player. You do need to keep that in mind as well. So either kill them, have them kill you, or have them leave the duel, but just as long as they understand that they will forfeit if they do that. But that is a pretty quick way to end a duel. So yeah, there's not really much else to say aside from that. It does not matter how you do. As you see here, winning or losing doesn't matter, as long as it ends. Bit of lag there, that's weird. Structure furnishings. So what I would do is if you have any house, maybe aside from like the really tiny ones, go to the housing menu, browse at the bottom there. Oh yeah, it's not my house, hold on. The bottom right, just hit that. Browse at the bottom middle, and then you'll get this menu, this list. Look it up, click on it, it will show you what it is, and there'll be an option to put it away. Now if you go to the exit button on the bottom right there, now we look at the bottom left, it says undo. Hit that button, and as you can see at the bottom left, it counts as placing a structure furnishing. It's this one here. Now if we go to the bottom left there and see it says redo, press that button, it'll remove it, now undo again, and it'll place it down. So that's a very quick way to do it if you have a house with something already in it. If not, no dramas, let me show you what you can do. So this option here, this item, this has been a I feel like this has been a part of this channel for a very long time, this woodcutting block. So let me show you how to get this thing, and I'll show you how to get a house for free as well, which will also count for the quest endeavor too if you want to do that one. Okay, so travel to this location here, Rosy Line, just south of a wayshunt that you start with by default. Now I would recommend I would recommend that you create a new character, because this way you can actually do a few quests very quickly. If you don't have any, I'll go through writs. I think that's the next best option. But yeah, for now, just if you got a character slot, just make one. I think it's convenient. So what you want to do is come into here. Feline Demery will be right here. Just talk to her for a while, and then you'll complete a quest. This will give you a house. And if you go map, then to houses collected, these here, one of these will come up, and you can travel to this and do your housing endeavor. Now, if you need structure furnishings, come to this vendor right here, just across the way, Rosica. She sells these woodcutting blocks for 100 gold each. Just need to buy one of these if you don't have any structure furnishings, and you're good to go for the rest of time. All you need is one, because what you can do is either pick it up if it's on the floor, or place it, and then undo, redo, undo, and it's just a quick way of getting it done. Even if this was like place 20 structure furnishings, you can still do it in like, I don't know, a minute or some shit. It's still a really good endeavor. Now as for the rest of this the quest endeavor on a new character, what you can do is go a little bit of a trek down here to the fighters and the Mages Guild. There are NPCs in here that you can also do the same thing. So we'll start with this. So come in here, go to the right, there'll be this guy here, Basil Fernando, and then just keep pressing the talk button. That's another quest, and that's the endeavor complete. There is also someone else, the same thing, in the Mages Guild here. There's a quest here. The Prophet will show up when you get here as well. There'll be a quest to do here. It's longer. It will take longer, but you can also do this one. And there's no combat or anything required. You just listen to him talk. And then if you have the Western Skyrim DLC, there's also the Antiquarian Circle quest that you get. So it's basically the same thing, except all that changes is halfway through the talking, you just have to go and press E on an object right next to you. And then you just talk again and you complete the quest. There's a bunch of quests easy to complete there that you can just do for this one. Yeah, if you don't have a character slot, my next recommendation would be Ritz. Alright, TLDR for Ritz. You just have to craft a couple of things and then hand them in, and you complete a quest. So it's usually 3 items. I think for jewelry crafting you can get 2 sometimes. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's just about the quest. So these can be really valuable because if you complete them, some of the goodies that you get are actually important for just general duties, and there's also some that matter for endeavors, surveys being the main thing. So you can get golden materials, like tempering alloy, dreg wax, which can be very valuable, or both for you as a character, so you can make your weapons really powerful, or make your gear really powerful, or to sell them for gold, which you can convert to other things in relation to endeavors. So there's a lot of valuable stuff to do with Rit, so if you can get yourself sorted with Rit, it'd be really good. And if you can do Rits on a character with max level crafting, it'd also be really good. So, for example, clothing, I've got 10 out of 10 in tailoring, so I have the highest possible Rit level, and so the chances of getting the gold materials is the highest. So if you can spend the time getting characters to max level, it can be really valuable for that. It takes ages, but let me tell you now, as someone who's played this game for a while, it is fucking worth it. There's a couple of things that can help you for doing Rit. One of the most important ones, I think, is to get the Dolgavon's Lazy Rit Creator. This does everything for you. Console users, sorry this isn't available to you yet, but it will be very soon. So, yeah, definitely look forward to that, I'd say. Because, man, this makes it so much easier. Not that it's as difficult as it used to be anyway, to do Rits, because they do give you all the information anyway. But, yeah, that's the main thing. There's also heaps and heaps of videos on setting yourself up for Rits. They explain it in ways that I think is better than I ever could. So, yeah, just look at that stuff. There's tons of it. Fucking heap. Okay, so money jewel seams. I just want to point out first that this tooltip is lying. Learn the Delicate art through the Somerset chapter. You don't need the DLC to be able to mine these jewel seams. You just need it to be able to use the stuff that you get. You can still access it and sell it if you don't have the DLC, or just hold on to it until you do. But I just want to make the distinction that you don't need the DLC in order to do this option. So, yeah. Misleading tooltip there, but jewelry seams, there's 5 different types of jewelry dust in total that you can find. Probably the most common ones you're going to see is pewter. Can you show it, please? There we go. So that's what pewter looks like. And then this is what platinum looks like, if it'll show up. There we go. You know, it took forever. Yeah, so people probably have seen this stuff in the past. That's what a platinum seam is. That's the max level stuff. Really, really valuable to get platinum dust, even if you can't use it, because you can sell it for quite a lot of gold. So that's what you're looking for. And the stuff that you get just depends on 2 things. Depends on your level. If you're max level, you'll get mostly platinum dust. But if you do this on a low level character, you might get pewter seams or copper or stuff like that. This thing also impacts it. This it's 50-50 between character level and this thing here. So if you're 5 out of 5, you'll get platinum for that. So if you're max level with 5 out of 5 engraver, you'll only get platinum, which is handy. Also, if you struggle to find this stuff, even then, because you can go into these options here. Oh, come on, man. Thank you. It took fucking 20 minutes. Alright, so that's what copper looks like, right? So once you know what this looks like, you know what every single copper dust node looks like. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You can use that. I'll put in the description that website so you can access it at any time. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can find some. Also, keen eye jewelry. If you're still struggling to find the seams, you can use this to sort of highlight where they are in the distance can also be very valuable. This, I wouldn't worry too much about it though, because it's pretty easy to spot this stuff from far away. I think so anyway. Also, if you're on PC, Addons, another great add-on for you, Harvest Map. So every time you find a jewelry seam and mine it, it will show up on the map. Also the same thing for blacksmithing ores. So these little spots here, this is the Harvest Map add-on. It's showing me every place in the past that I've found a jewelry seam. So I can just go back to where it was that I found it and just see if it's there. So the main issue you're going to have with this one is one, players, especially if you're in a commonly or like a busy zone like Craglorn, because this zone is where you get Nerncrocs. It's a trait item. Do I have any? Yeah, this stuff here. The ruby cocaine. This stuff is very valuable to have, and you can only get it from this zone. So do keep in mind that Craglorn is probably the busiest zone, but it's also probably the most lucrative. So yeah, easy to get to this zone. Just use home tours and look for either Earthseer Cavern or the one up here, Elenir Private Arena, wherever that is. So places like that can you can use it to access Craglorn if you don't have it already. So yeah, other than that, yeah, you just got to look around. Zones you can use too, you know. There's all these different zones, and it's not like one zone has lots of jewelry seams. Every single zone has a ton of jewelry seams. Also, I should point out, every spot that you can find a jewelry seam, it will have a chance between being a blacksmithing ore or a jewelry seam. And unfortunately, blacksmithing ores do not count as jewelry seams. Even though you can still get jewelry like dust from them, they don't count. So if I try and mine this one... Yeah, see? So even though... Yeah. Well, yeah, sometimes you can get dust from them. So it's kind of weird, the way they work. Yeah, see? So that one had a platinum dust, but it still didn't count. So I should make a point that I think going to zones that have enemies in them, or like locations, like Elenir is a great example. I'm just going to swap that one sec. It has tons of enemies around the place, so it's not the easiest thing to traverse through. But if you've got something like Cloak or a Stage 4 Vampire, you can ignore most of the enemies. There we go. Yep. That's a platinum seam right there. So that's one of them. More blacksmithing ore. See if this has got platinum dust. Oh yeah. If you point your camera up right against a wall, it stops you digging. It's kind of annoying. Another ZOS game engine thing. Alright, so the last thing to mention for jewel seams is jewelry surveys. So if you do a writ today, if you manage to do a jewelry crafting writ, you might just get a survey from this, which you can use to claim a bunch of jewelry seams. Just one thing to point out though, like you saw yesterday, sometimes survey endeavors can come up. So if all you've got is one jewelry crafting survey, maybe look at holding on to it so that in the future, whenever these annoying survey endeavors come up, that like yesterday, the other options were kind of annoying. So if you've got a survey to do those, it's good. But if you don't have a survey to do them, you're screwed. Whereas if you don't have a survey to do these jewelry seam ones, it's just a little bit of a inconvenience. So yeah, my preference is holding on to a couple of these. But if you got tons of them, just fucking go nuts. Just use these for these kinds of endeavors. It'll be good. Just keep in mind, if you do these survey harvests, try and have this champion point when you do it, so that it might give you more value every time you do the surveys, because you get more yield from it. These can speed it up too, but I think this is the more important one, because once these surveys get used, you can't the surveys used up. Like, you can't just grab one and then come back. You've got to grab the whole thing. So yeah, it's worth keeping in mind there. Okay, so Air Atronachs. So the only place I would suggest you do this, because there's really not that many places that... there's not many places that have a lot of Air Atronachs at once. Because you need 5, you don't just need 1, right? So there's Air Atronach bosses, there's Air Atronachs in like Duels and stuff, but they tend to just be on their own and just out of the way, a bit of a pain to get to. Whereas this place, you've got Hackfield's High Hall that you can use as a home tour to get close, or you can just travel Elenir or use the Belkarth Wayshrine if you've been here before. You know, it's easy to reach this place. Oh shit! Oh yeah, okay. So, but as you can see, there are multiple Air Atronachs in groups here, and you can see in the distance there's another group of 2. So you can do this endeavor pretty easily in the Cragmon location. The only problem I have with this is how well you can do this one depends entirely on the player base, because I suspect players might have the same idea, and what's that bloody line from Bloodborne? Beasts all over the shop. It'll be that, but just yeah. Look, players all over the shop. Look at this shit. Everyone else got the same idea. So yeah, just understand it will probably be busy around here, but as you can see, there tends to be a lot of spawns of these things. So probably don't. Yeah, if you see someone running in the distance, just like give them a quick tap and let them come to you and participate. But just understand there tend to be players who just kill these things in 5 seconds with a bloody golded out Arcanist build or some shit, and it can be really annoying to get stuff before you can. If you're really struggling, what I recommend to you is get a restoration staff. Doesn't matter what kind, but just any restoration staff, as powerful as it can be, and light attack it with the resto staff, because the missile for the resto staff comes out so fast that basically the moment you click, it will pretty much hit them straight away. So that can help you participate, because you don't have to get the killing blow, you just have to participate in killing the Air Atronach. You just have to do some damage of some sort. And yeah, like there's so many Air Atronachs. As far as I'm aware, I don't think they appear in Dolmens. That's the interesting thing. This is like the only place we can find them a lot. I think I think they appear in small amounts in Sunhold too, but not as frequent as they are in here. Like they usually spawn in groups of 2 in this area here. So Stealth Guy here. This big circle here that pretty much happens all the way through. Even though it's like the fire, this is like the shock section. There's like the ice section and the fire section. No matter what. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna run. I don't want to kill these ones just in case someone else needs them. Nope. Yeah. There's like a shock side. I think this is ice side and this is the fire side, but they all have Air Atronachs in them, regardless of which side you pick. So just try and find a place where there's no other players and just go nuts. That's what I think the best way to do this would be. Okay, so if you have any other questions, as always, just let me know. Always happy to help. But that's Daily Stun for today. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time, and take care.